setting up the ads is actually the easy part. It's the images, the research, coming up with the right hooks, the right message, the right offer. That's the hardest part. If you're starting out in ads, understand what the objectives are, what you are trying to achieve, then you want to build a list, and then you want to make sales. I've seen so many people start fiddling with their ads after the first 24 hours and stuff it up, where it could have actually started running quite well after 3 days. Take the feedback and make the changes. If it seems like it's too hard for someone to purchase, then it is. Hi, I'm Kerry Fitzgibbon, an ADHD fempreneur, multiple seven-figure business owner, and Facebook marketing ninja. Together, let's unleash AI-powered Facebook marketing to take your business from best-kept secret to the top of your niche and beyond. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about 5-step quick guide to set up Facebook ads for beginners, because what I find is a lot of business owners come to me and perhaps they're brand new, and this might be you, at marketing and marketing online. And the first thing that you're told to do, is, hey, why not run Facebook ads? And they can be and are super effective if you know what you're doing. They can also cost you a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. And that's what I actually usually find when business owners first start running Facebook or ads, or start looking into it at least. And then they come to me and they say, hey, Kerry, this Facebook thing doesn't work. Now, the first thing that you should not do, we'll start with, before we go into, the 5-step, quick start guide, what you should be doing and so on, is if you are doing this right now, don't, right? Back away from the boost button. So many times business owners will tell me that they run Facebook ads, and I'll go, oh, cool, hey, tell me what you're doing. And they'll say, oh, yeah, I boost my posts, right? So this is super ineffective. You'll probably find it doesn't work. On the odd occasion, it will work, and I know some businesses it works okay, but that's only because perhaps they haven't done the stuff that I'm about to share with you right now, and that's the right way to do Facebook ads, and the 5 steps to be able to just sort of start dipping your toe in the water with doing Facebook ads correctly as a business owner. So the first is, of course, as with everything, like, you've got to set up your foundations correctly. And it can get a bit complicated inside the old Facebook or the metaverse. And the fact that now, what's happened nowadays, once upon a time, you could set up a page, set up an ad account, and run ads. Now, a few years ago, Facebook decided to make it a little more complicated for you. And I'm not actually sure why, because you'd think that they'd make it nice and easy so that more businesses did it, so that they'd make more money. You'd think that. But I think actually what they have done is that they've actually made it more complicated, so that the businesses that do jump in get so damn overwhelmed and probably waste a lot of money trying to try things and not having experience and so on. And that's why actually that is pretty much why Facebook has that boost button, because it is so complicated nowadays that most business owners, and probably like you, will just push that boost button because that is easy. So let's jump into the foundations and exactly what you should be doing inside Facebook. So you need a Facebook business page or an Instagram business page. So good to have both. You also need to have an ad account set up as well. You also need to have, for ads, Facebook or Meta Business Manager, not Meta Business Suite. There is a difference. I'll share that difference with you just very, very briefly. But there is a Meta Business Suite, which is designed to manage your page. And when you go in onto your page in Facebook, it will switch you over when you switch into Meta Business Suite. If you're on the new page experience, not classic pages, which Facebook's moving us all over to. Well, on the outside of this for running ads, there's another thing called Meta Business Manager. It used to be called Facebook Business Manager. And this is quite different. But what it does, it holds ad accounts, pages, pixels and data sets and so on. So you need to have a business manager. you need to have a page, and you need to have an ad account. And if you've got a website and you're running people to a website, you need to have data sets, which used to be called pixels. So you need to have a pixel on your website. So that's just the foundational stuff. Business manager that holds an ad account, that holds a page, that holds a pixel or data set. And then you need to assign yourself as an admin into the page, the ad account, and the pixel, so that you can, as a person, manage it, right? And then you can actually assign partners, like my agency is a partner or a Meta preferred partner, so you can assign agencies and you can assign other people. It's into the business manager, right? So I know this sounds complicated. It can be very, very complicated. I teach people how to do this in my courses and so on. And in fact, I do hold a on-demand webinar teaching all this stuff. So I will leave the notes on how to do this and how to get onto that on-demand webinar to learn this stuff I'll leave them in the show notes for you. So that's the foundational stuff. Page, business manager, page, ad account, data sets, right? And all set up correctly and optimized to the right people. And make sure if you're doing this, one of the mistakes I see a lot is that people get their accounts person or their receptionist or someone in-house to set this up. The problem with someone in-house setting it up is it actually has to be set up under the business manager, so the business owner. So the business owner, if you're the business owner, you need someone to log into your Facebook account and assign the business manager to you and then everyone to you so that you own it. Many times we will take over someone's account and their page and their ad account and their data set, their pixels, are owned by someone, a staff member, that left years beforehand under their business manager and they can't get full access to it. Or they have got full access but haven't got ownership. So make sure that when you are setting this stuff up, that you're setting it up under you as the business owner, and then you give your staff access to it. So that's the first step. That's the foundational stuff. Now, once you have the foundational stuff set up, the next step you should do is what some people class as the most boring step. I find it, to be honest, the most exciting stuff. And that's the research side of things, okay? So, obviously, if you've been running a business for a while, you should know, a little bit about your ideal client. You should know, their fears, their frustrations. You should understand what it is, the problem that your business solves to your ideal client, or what is the outcome that your business has, for an ideal client, okay? So in saying that, you would think that most of business owners should know this and should know the problems, the fears, the frustrations, everything about their ideal client, but most don't. And even if you think you do, go and research. It's the very first thing you need to do before you start running Facebook ads, is to do the research on your audience or your ideal client. How do we research? Well, we've got to think about, first of all, what are their problems, their fears, their frustrations? How do you solve those? What is the outcome that they're wanting to get? How does your business solve that? So let's just say you're in the weight loss industry, okay? Now, anyone could want to lose weight, okay? But to be honest, you've got to, even when you're running Facebook ads, you've got to think about how can you niche that down. Perhaps you want to target women who are going through perimenopause or menopausal, all right? This is a good audience for weight loss, let's face it. Or maybe it's people that have just had, babies, right, after having a baby. But you've got to understand, right, so even if it is perimenopausal or menopausal woman, if you're in the weight loss industry as a business, then you've got to think about, okay, in the research, who are they shopping with before they come to you? Who are they shopping with now? What type of groups would they be signing up to? What sort of pages would they be following? What apps would they have? And what tools could they be using? And so on. And you've got to go and do the research on that. Now, the cool thing nowadays is we have AI, and AI can help us with most things. So we can use ChatGPT, ask those questions on, what is it, my target audience, what brands do they follow, what apps do they use, what tools do they use, what pages do they follow, and so on. Go research, because you want to find out when you're first setting up Facebook ads is you have to set up audiences. So you've got your foundation stuff right, and then when you go and run your ads consist of campaigns, ad sets, and ads. Campaign is an objective, ad set essentially equals audience. Okay, so audience plus ads equal campaigns is kind of the formula that I like to use. So the second step second step that you guys need to know when running Facebook ads is who the audience is and research it. So I have so much fun doing this. So some of the things that you can do is you can go into Facebook itself, scroll through your news feed, and just look at other ads, especially if you are your own target audience. So a lot of people start businesses around something that they're interested in. So you'll probably find that in your business, maybe, that you are the target audience. If you are, search through your news feed, because people are showing ads to you. Have a look at ads, have a look at big brands, have a look at what the content is, what they're posting, the images, the hooks, and so on. The other thing that you can do is you can go into a little place inside Facebook called the Facebook Ads Library. And in the Facebook Ads Library, so it's facebook.com/ads library. We'll put those the link in the show notes for you. You can type in keywords, or you can type in brands. And you can go and look at every single ad there is on the platform. So go research them. Go have a look at what images they're using, what videos they're using, what hooks they're using, what copy they're using, and so on. And just really take a note of all this stuff. Take screenshots, put things in a repository, folder or something like that to use later on. Right? But at the end of it is you really need to research their audience and find out what interests, what demographics, and what other pages, and so on. And what I do is I actually use a 5-step sort of checklist list, and I write those things down. I write down all the audiences, interests, and so on, so that I can then go and add that to the ad when I start running the campaign. Now, the third thing to understand when you're first setting up Facebook ads is to actually understand, I guess, the layout of the Facebook ad land. Okay, so as I mentioned before, it's broken into layers. So you have your campaign. In your campaign is where you select the objective. Now, Facebook is really, really good at getting you the results that you want based on what you tell them you want. So inside Facebook, if you're brand new to this, you can have multiple objectives. So you can tell Facebook, hey, listen, so for instance, I have lots of clients that say, hey, I want followers on my page because they believe in vanity metrics. I don't care necessarily about the number of followers. That's irrelevant to me. It used to be. We all used to want likes on our page and followers and so on. It's what we call vanity metrics. But let's just say that is something you wanted. You've done all sorts of other campaigns. You've started a brand new page. You just want people to like and follow your page for branding. Then you can actually run a thing called a like campaign, or a follow campaign, or an engagement campaign. So that's an objective that you can run inside Facebook. So there's multiple different objectives, and one of the things that you need to understand is understanding those and understanding where in your marketing funnel do you want to bring people in. So typically my advice would be what we call top of the funnel, which is people that don't know about you, your products or services. You want to run ads to them to get them to know who you are. So a little bit of brand recognition. So if you understand objectives inside Facebook, you would run what I call a video campaign or a video view campaign. This is the objective of this campaign, and Facebook's really great at this, is to get eyeballs on your video, which will brand you. This is actually the cheapest, easiest, most effective way to start building your brand, is to run video ads. Right? So that's one of the things that I would always say: get a really good video, or get a video out there that, if you've researched your audience, solves a problem or gives your audience an outcome. So solves one of their problems or gives them an outcome, and you run an objective of a video view campaign to that ideal audience. That would be the very first ad I'd run if you're first starting out. Most people run what we call sales campaigns. They used to be called conversion campaigns. So the objective of that is to get sales. The problem with that is that if you're first starting out, it can be very, very expensive. If people don't already know, love and trust you, don't know your brand, if you start running a sales campaign to make sales, then it will be a lot more expensive for you. And like I said, not as effective, especially if your business is perhaps a service-based business and your buying cycle is a little bit longer. So maybe you are let's just say a accountant or a lawyer or a physio and whatever else. People are searching through their news feed. They might actually see you, but they're not ready for you right now. So therefore, from first interaction to actually doing business could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, a year, and so on. So if you're continually trying to run a sales campaign to people when they're not ready to buy or they don't know you, so they don't know, love, trust you, then it's, like I said, going to be expensive. So really the thing to do here is to understand your objectives, what you want your ad to do, understanding that of course, everyone wants sales, but you need to have multiple touch points on a person before they will necessarily buy from you. So the first campaign might be a brand recognition one or what we call top of the funnel, which would be, I tell people to run a video campaign. So, and that's just the cheapest, easiest, quickest way to do it. Then middle of the funnel, I'd run a lead type of campaign. I use Messenger. So Messenger is a Facebook app. We all tend to use it. I go to workshops and speak at events all over the world. I ask people, hey, how many people, communicate with their friends and family through Messenger or Instagram Direct? 90+% of the room put their hand up. So why not communicate to your clients in the way that they are used to communicating? So I run Messenger ads and build lists inside Messenger. So, and then we run sales campaigns once people are warmed up. So really, if you're starting out in ads, understand what the objectives are and understand what you are trying to achieve in the initial stages. And usually it's brand recognition, then you want to build a list, and then you want to make sales. Okay, that's pretty much the order in which you should be doing your ad campaigns. So once you understand what your objectives are, the next step in the process is coming up with creatives and coming up with copy and coming up with, I guess, assets. Marketing assets. So the marketing assets that you need to run when you're that you can have when you're running ads include images. So what type of images? Remember, the images have to stop the scroll. Again, if you've done the research in the first step, you know what your audience might, you know their demographic, you know their fears and frustrations, you know what they want, you know a lot about your audience. So you should know, but at this stage, what type of image would help them stop the scroll, or get them to stop the scroll to look at your ad. So what images? You'll need some images, you'll need some videos. So whether that's, you talking to camera, whether that's you get a professional video team in, whether you do it on your phone, whether you use AI to make videos. You can use AI nowadays. You can clone yourself. You can use, different AIs to build out whole videos and so on. So come up with those assets. So that's the next thing, is to actually come up with the assets. Now, I always have my assets ready before I even dive into running ads. So you want to have a couple of images at least. So I would say come up with about 2, 3, 4 images that will stop the scroll. You can use sites like Canva to come up with those. You come up with a couple of really good videos with video hooks that will get people to take action on your ads, and then you also have to come up with copy as well. So understanding ad copy. And again, the research at the start helps with all of the stuff. So does AI. So, do the research, and then you can go into ChatGPT and ask, hey, listen, I want you to write me, an ad to get people to do X, Y, Z. What questions do you need to ask me in order to write a highly converting Facebook ad, right? So that's one of my typical prompts is what questions do you need to ask me to come up with, and then you put in what you want them to come up with. So ChatGPT will ask you some questions, you'll answer those questions, you'll put them back in, and it will come up with usually some pretty good ad copy. And then I say, great, this is great, and then a few extra ones. So you want your assets, you want at least maybe up to 4 images, 2 videos, and at least a long form copy and a short form copy with a couple of different hooks, all right? And if you don't understand the language that I'm talking about in terms of hooks and copy and whatever else, then you need to go back to step 1, which is the foundational stuff. Also, come and watch my webinar. I do go into detail a bit more on exactly what these things are. So once you have your ad, so understand you have Business Manager. Inside Business Manager, you have an ad account and page. You then go into Ads Manager and you set up a campaign with an objective. If the objective is video views, you select page engagement video views, and then you set a budget. My suggestion, if you are starting out, that you do budget at campaign level. They call it campaign budget optimization. So do the budget at the campaign level, not at the ad set level, which is another option. Once you've sort of, dip your toes and know what you're doing, then you can change your budget. And then ad sets are audiences, right? You can do multiple things inside ad sets, like it shows where you place the ad, you can do, when it starts and stops, but the main thing that I look for at ad set level is audiences. And if you've done that research, you can then set up your audiences. You want a cold audience of people that are interested in your stuff. You might have a warm audience. This is people that have interacted with you in some way. So either come to your website, watched the video on your page, visited your page, so on. There's multiple of those people on your database. And then you can have lookalike audiences. I won't go into a huge amount of detail about them right now, but you do need to understand audiences, which we've done in step 1 here, or step 2 after your foundations. So you set up a campaign with an objective, you set up an ad set with an audience, and then you set up your creatives. And inside my creatives, I have, you can do multiple images and multiple copy inside one ad, but I split them up. And I do show you how to do this on my webinar. Like I said, the link to that will be in the show notes, but I like to separate my ads out, and you can have multiple ads inside an ad set. You can have multiple ad sets, aka audiences, inside a campaign, right? So it can look a bit complicated, but to be honest, once you start running ads or setting up the ads is actually the easy part. It's the images, it's the research, it's the coming up with the right hooks, the right message, the right offer. That's the hardest part, and the right audience. The actual doing the ad and setting it up is really easy, because once you've learned it, it's the same, right? From there, once it's all set up and you've got your ad up and running, the other thing you need to know to do, and most beginners get stuck on this one, is leave it for 3 days. You need to leave it for 3 days, because it takes 3 days for a campaign to fully optimize. So you actually literally need to stand back. I mean, obviously go make sure it's going okay, and so on, but you need to stand back and just leave it for 3 days. I've seen so many people start fiddling with their ads after the first 24 hours and stuff it up completely, where it could have actually started running quite well after 3 days. I've seen ads that have not performed that well for the first 3 days, and then they start to fire on the 4th, 5th, 6th day. Okay, so leave it for 3 days to fully optimize, and then you can start split testing it. And always split test. Now, what I mean by split test is that you can start split testing. Usually I start split testing images first. So, I've already got 4 images in there. I'll switch ones off that aren't working, switch ones on that are, maybe split test the videos a bit, and then we start split testing the copy and what we call the hooks. What is the hook that's going to get them in, that's going to get them to take action? So those are the things I split test. but one at a time, right? Change out an image, leave it for 3 days. Change out a bit of copy, leave it for 3 days. Change out a video, leave it 3 days. Same with the audience and so on, okay? So, and another thing to understand when you are running campaigns, and this is your first time running them, is it might not work the first time, right? Not everything works the first time when you're brand new to this, especially if you haven't proven the concept yet, especially if you haven't quite perfected the offer yet, or the messaging or so on. It can take a little bit of time. And that's why a lot of people give up, because you're spending money essentially to test a concept, or you're spending money and it's not making money, which at the top of the funnel, when you're branding your business and so on, it might not. It's actually not designed to make money. You can, but it's not designed to. So most people give up because they haven't given themselves enough budget to market, to actually do that sort of thing. So as far as I'm concerned, if this is your first time running Facebook ads and you are relatively new in business and you haven't proven the concept, give as much budget as possible to your ads, because this is the thing that's going to take your business from 0 to 6 figures, 6 figures to 7 figures, 7 figures and beyond. It will be your ads, right? And you'll note that every big brand around there that's multiple 7 figures, they run ads, and most of them run Facebook ads. And many of them started off, pretty much exactly where you guys are now. They started off testing the waters. So even if you have to skimp on anything else, don't eat lunch, perhaps. Don't buy that extra cup of coffee every day or whatever else. Okay, spend money on marketing your business. Because otherwise you don't have a business. And a lot of people I find, do actually waste money on many things in their business, like business cards. Branding initially, okay, well, on getting this, someone to design this amazing brand and color and logo and website and whatnot without testing concepts first. And then they have no money for the marketing. So that stuff's pointless without the marketing. I tend to say put your business out there first, do some Facebook ads, test the concept, get the offer right, and then once you've got all that going, then you can start to look at your brand colors, website, whatever else, okay? Because then you can also get feedback as well. So one of the other things that a lot of people forget to do, and I know they forget to do it because the amount of ads that I've clicked on that have gone to broken links, Facebook doesn't really approve those anymore. They'll usually pull you up and say it's not going nowhere. But I've clicked on ads that are broken links or 401 pages. And the other one is when people get to your website having things broken in there. Always go through the buying process yourself, or the appointment setting process yourself. Whatever your funnel is, go through it and test it yourself. Take note of the user experience and take note of anything that makes you go, this was complicated. Oh, that was really hard for someone to book an appointment with me, or it was really hard for someone to purchase off me. I actually have, for some reason, I have many clients that argue back on this one, and then they try and explain to me, because I'll always go through the buying process or the funnel when I'm working with clients and that, and they'll go, oh, no, but Kerry, you've got to look over this side of the website, and there's the link there, and I'm going, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm the buyer, remember. I want it to be nice and easy. So make sure you go the process yourself and then get other people to do the same. And take the feedback as feedback and make the changes. Don't take it as criticism, because a lot of people get offended when they ask for feedback. People give them feedback and they don't want it. So don't be that person. Go through the process yourself, ask for some feedback, and if it seems like it's too hard for someone to purchase or do the action you want them to take, then it is. So you need to change things around. So I hope these 5 steps to running Facebook ads as a beginner have been helpful for you. Go ahead, run some ads. I'd love to hear how you go. And if you did find this episode useful and helpful and want to know more about marketing your business on Facebook using AI, then make sure that you subscribe to whatever podcast channel you use, whether it be Spotify or Apple, or follow me on either Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me. If this episode helped you get your business one step closer to the top of your niche, then I'd love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe on your favourite platform too. Don't let your journey end here. Connect with me and my community of like-minded female entrepreneurs at Kerry Fitzgibbon on social platforms. I look forward to helping you build your business.